Why, hi. It is me, it is I, small town Didi on the internet, and I'm back. I am back, you guys. Back on my floor. I apologize for the glitter on my face. I don't know why. Like, how does it end up right there? I look like the girls in the 90s. You know how they're obsessed with silver eyeshadow? Like, they thought they were doing something. But it's edible glitter. I was working. I'm load shedding. I'm like, let me sit down here and have this chat that I've been putting off all throughout the week, really since the weekend. Doromongy, I don't even know what her real name is, but that is her online persona that she goes by, so that's what I refer to her as. Has been getting into it. I spat back and forth with another girl by the name of Botse, who apparently is behind a blog by the name Buzzy B. I looked it up on YouTube. It doesn't seem like she posts much on here. I went on her Instagram. I wasn't aware of her before. But I think I've seen her live with Ava Mudike. I just didn't know she has a blog. So I didn't know of her in this capacity, right? And then I saw I went on her Instagram. She seems to have a sizable following there, like over 20K. That's a nice number. It's decent. So they've been going back and forth, and the reason I didn't want to get into it or really entertain it was that I said to one of my friends, it feels like one of those things that doesn't end until something really bad happens, because they're threatening each other with violence. So throughout the week, I'm like, I don't want to be part of, I have nothing to contribute to this. My angle on this is that, can we grow up? And by that, I don't mean let's not have conflict, right? We're always going to have conflict. Can we grow up and acquire other means of conflict resolution that do not resort to us threatening physical violence on each other? Because the body is very sensitive. And as I'm working through these thoughts, the story we're all seeing, the very tragic story of a young lady in America who went to Mexico with a group of her supposed friends, a young lady by the name of Shanquella. I hope I'm saying her name correctly, Robinson. Went on a trip with a group of people who were supposed to be her friends, and then they beat on her. Well, in the footage, in the stills that I saw, because I can't bring myself to watch the footage. So the stills that I'm seeing, she's naked and somebody's towering her, and the other people in the room, I don't see other people in the shot trying to diffuse the situation. I'm listening to other bloggers. It doesn't seem like anybody intervened to try and get in the way of her being beat. In fact, I'm hearing the bloggers talk about how they hear a guy's voice saying, at least fight back. But for what for? It's like, I was at the plaza with my dad. We went to the plaza earlier this week, and there was this commotion, and I didn't understand what was going on. Then the group of people who were saying this were actually walking past us, because I couldn't see where it was coming from for a bit. And it was schoolgirls. They were in their school uniform and they were being rowdy, talking about how, yeah, we'll get them after school. And I'm like, they're 16. They will learn to resolve conflict in a different manner. They don't have the reasoning capacity all the way there right now. And that doesn't mean that violence is allowed when it's young people. Just that it's somewhat understood. Like, you can make arguments for it because they are still trying to equip themselves, trying to get tricks in their bag, so to speak, to learn to resolve conflict where we do not resort to violence, right? I'm very disappointed in this. It's almost like it's okay. I'm online and I'm watching Doro and Botse, how they're going back and forth. And I'm like, this is teetering on something that I don't fully think people understand. Botse went on her live, spoke about how Kifilo Mabotja, Kifibu, her, that her little sister slapped Bobby. This is where the whole fight started. Those of you who don't even understand what the conflict is about. Turns out there was a party at one of these clubs that these people frequent. It's hot as fuck, I'm so thirsty. There was a party, I think it was Bob's party, and all the hosting people in the industry were invited. Gifu was invited. Her little sister brings Botse, who's apparently not in good terms with a lot of people sitting in that section, Bobby being one of them. Bobby then says, this is according to Bobby, by the way. If we have Bobby tell it, this is how Bobby's telling it. Bobby then says, girl, I like you and everything, but you can't have this one hand up in here, right? Botse in her life admits that Gefule's little sister, I forget her name, did put hands on Bobby. Bobby, who is a man. And I don't know why everybody's acting like that's okay. Yes, like men have a physical advantage over us as a general matter. Well, I'm not going to get into this. But that doesn't give you the right to put hands on somebody, right? If my knee-jerk reaction is to defend myself and push you, or if that was like Bobby's like built-in mechanism of protecting oneself was to push her, she was gonna get hurt. And that's where my argument of like how fragile the body is, how fragile we are as people, that when Shanquella's friends were doing that, were they intending to end her life, or was it like, yeah, I'm gonna beat on her? And then we then need to start questioning the people we keep around us, why we're calling them friends. Are they really friends? Because that's the conversation I'm trying to have with you now. Because sometimes people are friends of friends and we're friendly with them and we hang as a group a lot together. But, and I have that in my life, right? I have people who I keep at a distance, even though like proximity wise, physically, they're near me, emotionally, every other way. I keep them at arm's length, like, because I can see this person does not root for me. And sometimes I feel that I see it in some friend groups, and I even see it in some friendship duos where I'm like, that one is not really for that one, right? Where you're like, you need to sit down and really question if a relationship, if a friendship is serving you. Really be honest with yourself. Get out of the pattern of staying in community with people for the sake of regwaule, the longevity of it all. Oh, it's been 5 years, because the number sounds good. People want to say, my best friend and I have been friends since we were at 9, or whatever the issue is. Like it's supposed to mean something. It doesn't mean anything if the quality of the relationship is not there. It doesn't mean anything if the relationship does not serve you. Let it go. You're not losing anything. Create room for healthier people to come into your life. How is it that this young woman ended up in a room full of supposed friends and not one was like, you're not about to beat on my friend like that, right? Right, we let people fight it out sometimes. They start something, they throw slaps, and then you put them apart. Like, that's enough. That's enough of that. We're going to have to, like, get our grown woman panties on, sit down, and have chats like grown women. Use our words, like, solve problems. Do you understand? Because what resolution is there when we start throwing hands? And it's the little things that I've noticed with friends of mine, and I observe their relationships with other people whom they've been in community with far longer than me, and they're like, this is my really good friend. I'm like, this hand don't really see it for you like that. It's a particular dynamic that I see a lot replicated, and I'm like, this is alarming and concerning. If you were friends with somebody and as children they always got more attention for whatever reason, they were prettier, they were from the well-off family, and maybe you didn't come from a family that had done well, the dynamic of the duo was always that they were the main character and you were supporting cast and crew all by yourself, right? The minute you come into yourself and you find your way, and you get your wits about you, that person generally has a difficult time trying to make sense and understand what this new dynamic is, what this is developing into. They have a difficult time with that. And that usually makes them a very jealous person. They'll sabotage you. They will. They will always be very, very supportive of you when you're moving mad, right? One thing that I keep seeing is they'll encourage you to date losers. Like when you get with a guy that doesn't make sense, they're very supportive of that relationship. The moment you get with somebody who looks like they're decent, they want to treat you well, they want to whatever, basnacks. They're weird about it, they're not supportive, they find non-existent things to say about this. The other issue is that they usually look at that type of man and feel like, I'm deserving of that. Not you. You're the lesser friend in this dynamic. How do you get to have that person and not me? Pay attention to the things that your friends support. Pay attention to how your friends react to your successes and to your failures. Some of your friends are extra there for you when you're in your lowest low. And it may feel like support, but watch how they are when you rise. Because if they're not celebrating with you when you rise, but they like to be there for you when you're down, it's really because they like to see you down. They like to be around it and act like they really care about you, but they really just want to see you down. So they're there for you. They want to see you. Pay attention. Your mates as well, who move mad around other people that they're friends with, do not take up for their friend. You like, but aren't you friends with that other girl? Why then would you do this to that girl? You're no exception. Please don't think they're not going to turn on you. That girl that's beating on her friend in that room, I bet you she's been in other fights. I bet you they've seen her beat up on other people, and it's always like, oh yeah, she's a little violent. She's a little prone to throwing hands and whatever. It's how she is. We're used to her. And you think you're going to be the exception. This person lacks problem-solving skills. They're not grown enough to talk through anything. So even when they get into conflict with you, they are going to resort to their form of conflict resolution, and that is throwing hands. Do you understand? We need to pay attention to these things and be honest with ourselves about the people we're in community with. Not the people we want them to be, but the people who are standing in front of us, right? I've had people try to set me up with losers. People whom I know that you would never date that person. Why would you want to put me in that situation? To be with a dude who's got kids everywhere, who you look at me and you think that I deserve that. Pay attention to things like that. Really, really pay attention to things like that. Back to Doro and Botse. They were friends. They were friends before. Now that they aren't friends, they're airing each other out. And Doro actually didn't even start this, and she's messy as fuck out here. Botse is the one, in the name of trying to promote a blog, who put this woman's business out there, and Doro says these claims aren't true, that she's a homewrecker, whatever the fuck that means. I don't believe in homeworking. I don't. I'm sorry. Your husbands just leave. They don't like you. They don't like nobody. They don't even like themselves. Like, they don't bathe. But like, she went and put Doro's things on blast in order to gain traction for her blog, right? That's a test of character. Gefula's little sister now, who's friends with Botse, and you go out, you maybe do things that you're less than proud of because you're like, oh my God, I'm in a safe space, I'm with friends. You're growing, you're making mistakes. We do these things with our friends. When now, as Gefula's little sister, when you're gonna be trying to defend Botse, who was just friends with Doro, but is putting Doro's things out there in the streets, you think you're gonna be the exception. When things end with you and she needs traction for a blog, you think she's not gonna put you and your sister's things out there? What? Like, it's a test of character, guys. This is a character flaw. Anytime somebody has a falling out with a friend and they resort to putting that other person's like things out there for the public to see, that's a character issue. Because those things happened in confidence. The things transpired when this person still had your trust. Just, if you're no longer friends, pack them up and put it away. If the friendship has run its course, pack it up and put it away. Jealousy is another thing. It's a natural human emotion. I think I've said that in some of the things. But you need to be careful as to how you deal with it, how you hone it, how you make sense of it, right? If these are the markers of success, if life is saying to us, society is saying to us, this is what you should have done at this age, and it's not happening for you, but it's happening for all your mates around you, feeling a way about it is perfectly natural. Don't beat yourself up about that. Name it. Call it. I'm feeling left behind. I'm lagging behind. I'm envious of where everybody else is because I feel like I'll never get there. If you call things what they are, then they don't hold so much power, in my experience anyway. When I just name things, when I call my friends who are doing well, I'm like, you know what? I'm very proud of you, but seeing everybody else do so well reminds me of how much I'm lagging behind, and this is how it makes me feel. That allows me to show up for my friends because they create room for me to be vulnerable about my insecurities and about the things where I feel like I'm falling short. They make room for me to feel those things, console me in the ways that they can, remind me that we're not walking the same journey, and we're not gonna move at the same pace, and that it's okay, and not make me feel like I'll be like stuck in this situation forever, whatever the situation is at the time. If you can't have those kinds of open relationships with your friends, it festers. It festers, and then it manifests itself in very wuloyish type of way. That's the next step above jealousy, where you start trying to sabotage your friends. And it's like, also having mates around you. I have a friend like this. She keeps making new friends. Girl, you know I'm talking about you. You keep making friends with girls who want the shit that you have. Stop it. Stop making new friends, and especially in adulthood, stop making friends with women who vie for the same shit you vie for. Like you all wanna be slay queens or whatever. If you're getting the thing that I also say I want, how the fuck you think I'm really gonna feel when I'm around you? Do you understand? It's different when people are meeting their targets and stuff and you're feeling left behind, but you're not vying for the exact same shit that they're vying for. It's just a reminder that, fuck, the targets that I'd set for myself, I'm not meeting those either. That's a different situation. But Lena, where you guys are interested in the same kind of guy, you all like a light-skinned guy with a beard right up to like very, and you're all like, do you understand? Like, that's what you guys are gonna do. Because, like, you literally, she does this. And I say to her, sometimes she gets with people whom we know didn't like her when we're in high school or something. And then she's friends with them now. Then I'm like, bitch, why are you hanging with her? The same friend. Girl, no, she's actually such a cool chick. No, she's not. There's a reason we never fucked with that bitch. Like, do you understand? 6 months down the line, her business is all out in the streets. Everybody's talking about why, because she was confiding in her new friend who's actually not so bad. Trust that built-in thing. And trust when relationships have run their course. It's okay. They've served their purpose. Yes, we've been friends since we were 10. We're 25 now. We're whatever now. And how you're moving is not where I want to go. We grew in different directions. I do not hate you. I want the best for you. And you know what? Sometimes it's so healthy. It even gives you room to reconcile 3 years down the line, right? You may go this way, but your paths may converge back, and then you find that you are exactly where you need to be without having had hurt each other, trying to deal with that friction and force a relationship that's really run its course. I feel so bad for the Robinson family, right? And I hope they get justice. What happened to that girl is dead wrong. And I hope that Botse and Doro can have their mutual friends sit them down somewhere and make it make sense. Botse does owe Doro an apology. I'm sorry. She does. That's it though. Mwah. Bye.